4th of July weekend is going well so far. If you're in Michigan, play Gun Lake, at the beach, on the boat, the lake, the mountain house, your backyard pool, your swim club, your Barca lounger. Play your favorite casino games with live dealers on the Play Gun Lake online casino and sportsbook app. Yeah, it's fun. Take it anywhere you've got your phone. You've got Play Gun Lake in the state of Michigan. Live bet sports while you watch the game on the Play Gun Lake online casino and sportsbook app. All the action, the excitement, the entertainment, all from the casino, right at your fingertips. It's safe, it's simple, it's easy to use. Play Gun Lake, the only app that I recommend in the great state of Michigan. Great offer for new users. New users, download the Play Gun Lake online app right now. Get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. If you're down in the first 24 hours, that casino bonus has got to be wagered. PlayGunLake.com for all details in Michigan. Got to be 21 and in Michigan. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. You love to play, you play to win, you bet. Play Gun Lake. Have some fun. Well, wow. Where do I begin? Well, there's this. There's the New York Post version of the interview, right? Joe adds insult to infirmary. The New York Times, Peter Baker's analysis, I thought was extremely well done. Here's the lead. Headline, Crisis What Crisis. By the way, that was a Supertramp. That was a Supertramp album, Crisis What Crisis. I'm 98% sure of that. It just occurred to me. All sounds fine in President Biden's world. That devastating debate, just a bad night. Those dismal poll numbers, simply inaccurate. The gloomy election predictions, the same old doomsdayers, wrong again. The Democrats who want him to drop out, no one has told him that. For Mr. Biden, the crisis seen by so many Democrats who are not on his payroll, and by some who are, is nothing more than another bump in the road, another obstacle to overcome, as he always has. He does not agree that he is slipping as he ages. He does not accept that he is losing to former President Donald Trump. He does not believe much of his own party wants him to step aside. I want to say a couple of things. First, the first thing I want to say is I thought that George Stephanopoulos last night was terrific. I thought that he was terrific. I thought that he was measured, compassionate, empathetic, and yet he asked all the right questions. He just didn't do so in an abrasive manner. And why would he in these circumstances? I thought it was pitch perfect. I really did. I know that someone wrote, I forget where because I've read so much this morning, somebody said that it was more intervention than interview. Maybe, so be it. It was not reassuring. It was not reassuring. It will not, the interview, it will not calm the concerns about the president. It will not make these issues go away. Nothing could. Nothing could. They're unfixable. I mean, the most amazing part to me, and I want to go back and watch it again, and I appreciate that they ran all 22 minutes, no BS, no interruptions, like, here it is. Well, what jumped out at me was the fact that the president is in a crisis, age-driven, acuity-driven, because of the debate, obviously, 9 days ago. And when asked if he'd gone back and watched it, he wasn't sure. And as I'm going to say on CNN in a commentary that I'll soon deliver, I'm not sure which is worse, that he can't remember or that he lacks the self-awareness of recognizing how politically harmful it is if he says he can't remember. It's like, which is it? And both are bad. I rewrote my commentary. Yesterday, I did a YouTube live, sort of unanticipated, spur-of-the-moment reflection of where this thing stands. I was in my garden. You can go watch it. A lot of people have. And I was sharing my thought process as I evaluated what must the president do. And here's why I think he has reached the point where he's got to stand down. And I wrote a commentary that I was prepared, the whole thing. And unfortunately, this happens sometimes. The folks who work with me, this great team at CNN, they did all the production. They pulled all the elements. They created slides and SOTs, meaning sound bites, and like all the bells and whistles. And then I watched the interview and tore up that commentary and wrote a total new version. And the new version, which is how I feel now, and what I'll say on television is, this all to me is now a question of when, not if. To me, it's got a feeling of inevitability. There are just too many pieces now of the machinery headed in the same direction, no matter what the president says, that I don't think he can be the candidate. And instead, not only don't I think he can be, let me be more clear. I'm out on a limb here, but I'm going to say it. It's not only that I believe he can't be, I believe that he won't be. I believe that he won't be. And I'm going to the next level, which is to say, okay, so how should Democrats handle this? And I think it would be a mistake to just hand it to Kamala Harris. My poll question today at Smerconish.com asks, what would make her a stronger candidate? To win the nomination by competition or to be handed the nomination by acclamation? As a practical matter, if President Biden endorses her, it's over. It may be over anyway. I should say that. But if he endorses her, as a practical matter, it's over. He can't hand her his delegates, but they're Biden-Harris delegates. They're pledged to him. And if he endorses her, as a practical matter, it's going to be Kamala Harris. I just don't think that's to her advantage. Nor do I think it's to the advantage of the Democratic Party. Nor do I think it's the advantage of the country. I think best for her is the path of most resistance, which is go fight for it and win it. Have an open competition. If Biden endorses Harris, no one from what I consider to be a pretty deep bench of Democrats, we've talked about them, Newsom, Bashir, Klobuchar, Buttigieg, some put on the list Raphael Warnock. I could go on. I don't want to forget anybody, but you know the usual suspects. If Kamala Harris is endorsed, nobody's running against her. Nobody wants to stand in the way of an endorsed vice president who stands the prospect of being the nation's first female and president female of color. Like they already, because of some of the dynamics of the Democratic Party, people are going to be reluctant to stand in her way. But if she's endorsed, it never happens. It'll be her. But the party would be best served by spending the next 6 or 7 weeks with town halls, debates, public appearances, retail politics, appearances before state delegations, like a condensed Democratic nomination process. And if you think it can't happen, then I point you to the United Kingdom, where they just had the whole election inside of 6 weeks. It absolutely can happen. It would be must-watch television when we get to the convention, and whomever comes out of that process, probably Harris, would be perceived as more of a tested commodity and in a better position to challenge Donald Trump. Need I remind you, it didn't go so well in 2020 when she ran. You probably remember, if you remember anything about her candidacy, you remember when she confronted Joe Biden on busing. Do you also remember that was the night that she put her hand in the air with Bernie Sanders, saying that she wanted to totally get rid of a private health care system, a private health insurance system, the whole Medicare debacle, and then she did an about-face and said she was confused on the question. Go back and watch it. And she dropped out before a single vote was cast. Are you going to tell me that now she's 4 years on and she's seasoned? Really? Do you want the first time Democrats who don't want Donald Trump? I'm talking to you. Do you want the first time that she's called on the carpet for her role with regard to the border and migration and, stemming the problem at its point of origin? Do you want her answering for that for the first time to Donald Trump? Or kind of working out her bugs and rust among fellow Democrats? Oh my God, how exciting it would be. It would be incredible. So that's the commentary I am going to deliver today. And that's why the poll question today at Smerconish.com asks, in which scenario would she be stronger? What do I expect to happen? I expect that this process is going to go on for a couple more days. I mean, you've got Senator Mark Warner now saying he's getting Democrats together in the Senate to request of President Biden that he stand down. That to me is like Hugh Scott, if you remember the Pennsylvania senator and the role that he played in history, going to the president and saying, time's up. That Hakeem Jeffries having a call tomorrow with his conference, the editorials that have come out, the donors. I mean, there's just no way you can reverse this. And I think that the problem that the White House is having is they're treating this like it's a political obstacle. It's not. It's not that we got an unemployment number and it's poor, or the jobs number is poor. By the way, the jobs number was great 2 days ago. It's not even, God forbid, that we've been attacked by a foreign adversary. Presidents can and have recovered from all those sort of things. It's not a political issue. I just thought of something. Maybe I can work this into my commentary. It's not a political issue. It is a life issue. And I think the reason that this is striking a chord with so many is that, I'll speak for myself, but a lot of us, we've all been there, right? Like we've all been there in our own lives with a family member or a friend. And it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. I mean, if it got better, there'd be a fountain of youth. It doesn't get better. So it's just not sustainable. He cannot be the Democratic nominee. I don't think he will be the nominee. Apparently, he doesn't know that yet, but I think he'll know that soon. And, you got to say, my God, the people around him and his spouse, are they not seeing what we're seeing? And I don't bring a partisan animus to the table. I wish that he were 100% and could go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump. But he can't. Here, you want another indication? For the first time in his life, Donald Trump realizes he is better served staying out of the public spotlight. That ought to tell you everything. He gets it. He gets it. This is not good for Joe. And it's not good for Dem. So let's go to the next step. How should this work? How should this happen? Should she be handed it? No, I don't think so. She'll be totally untested. Totally untested. And I don't think she's the strongest candidate the Democrats have. You think that she's stronger than Josh Shapiro? I don't. So, no shortage of things to discuss. Holy smokes. Sean Nichols says Halpern changed his opinion as to whether he thinks Biden will be the nominee. I saw that flash by me. I can answer your question. Yes, he has changed. Yes, he has. Because you know that Mark and I disagreed about this in our conversation this week. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to say it. A lot of people aren't going to like hearing me say it, but I got to call it the way I see it. That was not reassuring. How in the world does he not know if he has watched the debate? It would have been a 90-minute investment of his time. Did you watch it or not? He doesn't remember. No. And come on, guys, and those of you who want to hang on to Joe, and I get it, there's a lot to be admired, but you're comfortable with a president who says, my solution here, having first given us all the different lines of jet lag and cold and the way he was prepared, and now the solution is I'm going to sleep more and limit my activities and be in bed by 8? No. All right, go vote on today's poll question at Smerconish.com and watch version 2 of the commentary on CNN at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Version 1 went in the shredder. After I watched last night, I thought, no. There's no use in making the argument as to why it's not sustainable. Let's go to the next chapter and talk about what should come next. And what should come next is a democratic competition. Do I think it happens? No, I don't. But it ought to happen. And that's why I'm going to make the case. All right, appreciate you all. I'll read your comments later when things simmer down for me later in the day. Appreciate you. Yeah, Debbie Jones, it is sad. It is sad. And Debbie, it didn't have to be this way, right? I mean, he decided he would seek re-election knowing that, God willing, he'd be 86 at the end of his term. No. See ya.